Rose Cushing with Carolina Hoofbeats TV show, and we are here in Angier, North Carolina today with Isaiah Jacobs at Double J Ranch, excuse me.
Yes, ma'am.
And Isaiah is a horse trainer and a horse breeder and pretty much an all-purpose venue. So today we're going to learn the differences between training between a mule and a horse, because they are different. And we'll get a chance to see the famous Minnie Pearl, a beautiful white mule in action, and talk a little bit about Mules Got Talent that's coming up at Benson Mule Days. So tell me a little bit about how you got involved with horses.
Well, I grew up and around a lot of horses, and then every Sunday, if there was 10, there was 20 of us. We ride. Well, my uncle, he trained horses, so I got around 12 years old, and I started helping them clean stalls, and started teaching me stuff, you know, and we went up from there, and I helped them for probably 5 years, and then I went out on my own. And I used to do it for the side, you know. I worked a job, but for the last going on 4 years, I've done it 4 times. So
that's
about
awesome.
all my life.
Well, I've heard really good things about you in the horse community when I mentioned that I was coming
That's
out here
always
to see
good.
you. So obviously you do a great job.
We try to, and some, you know, some take longer than others, but we try to be honest, and some don't get it, and some's gonna never get it, but most of them do. They take longer than others, like people.
That's right.
So.
That's right, and it sounds like you do a good job at matching up what the owner expects to get out
Yes,
of a horse and
ma'am.
what the horse can really give.
If somebody brings me a horse here and they say, I want to go show ranch, or I want to trail ride, and if I put so right many days on it, and I just say, look, I don't think it's a good fit, instead of taking somebody's money, I want to say, look, I just don't think this is going to work out for you. Let's go a different route. Find that. Some people say, well, let's try it, and sometimes it works, sometimes it don't. But I kind of look through the holes of the people and other clients and kind of see, oh, if it's going to be a good fit, or if it's not going to be a good fit, or if that horse is not going to perform, and that kind of things.
Right. Well, that makes good sense, because not every horse is cut out for
That's
every
right.
discipline. So you got to figure out what his niche is and then make him, work good in that one. Now, I know you. Of course, you know I had to go see the Friesian stallion. So tell us a little bit about your breeding program and what you offer.
So we started this year raising gypsy vanners. So we got some full gypsy babies on the way, and we got some crossbred gypsies, like a halfling cross, got some quarter crosses. And we have a Friesian stud in the barn with some babies here. Can't kind of got where we're going to go along with it yet and what way we're going to go. But he's here for right now, just to kind of see which way we go with him. He's probably got about a week and a half of riding on him.
Right, young guy.
Young horse. He's 5 years old.
Right. Nice
horse. He just turned out in the past with a bunch of mares, and we pulled him up and said we're going to ride him. And he's a good horse. So the ones with the brains always spoil you a little bit.
Absolutely, and it certainly makes for a good stud prospect.
Yeah, it does. It'd be somebody they could ride them and breed them.
Yeah. So you have the Friesian, you have gypsies, and you have babies here on site for sale.
Yep.
And then tell me a little bit about the kinds
of
training.
We train. I've been training for years, and we train. Used to keep about 10 head, 8 to 10 head, but with the heat, we try to keep about 6. And I got a few of my own that I'm training up. They're gonna be for sale. And then we can sign for people. They call and say, look, I got a horse. Either I'm getting out, or this horse just ain't working for me.
Right.
And sometimes they say, this horse has got a problem.
Yeah.
And when they bring the horse and leave with me, I call them back and say, look now, this horse don't got a problem. It just, y'all want a good fit.
Right.
Or maybe something you're doing. So you try to say it is the best, well-mannered way possible. Sometimes if a good fit just don't work.
That's right, absolutely.
And we sell and we can sign different things like that. And we give lessons, and we have camps with the kids and stuff like that.
Awesome. So how can people find out how to reach you if they want to hire you for your
training? So we have a page on Facebook. It's called Double J Ranch. And we get on it, but most of our stuff is either on my Facebook or my wife's Facebook. It'll be either Elijah Jacobs or Natalie Jacobs.
Okay, very good. So let's go see Minnie Pearl and see what she's got to offer us.
All righty.
Okay.
This is Paul Dunn with Mule City Specialty Feeds here in Benson. I want to tell you about Mule Days coming up the 4th weekend in September. Starts on Thursday, September the 22nd. We'll be having a concert that night with John Conley at the Singing Grove. There'll be food, there'll be vendors. Come on out, let's see what's happening with the concert Thursday night. Friday's the big day for the mules, right? Is that right? Okay. All right, we're gonna have mule events, just like a horse show. Come and enjoy that at the rodeo arena. Also at the rodeo arena on Friday night, there'll be a rodeo, like no other in North Carolina. It began here with the Southern Rodeo Association over 50 years ago. Come see what it's about. Saturday, if you've never seen a parade that is big, you need to come to Mule Days. It lasts at least 3 hours. It's like a regular parade halfway through it, and then it's mules and wagons and horses, and it goes on and on and on. After the parade, there's bluegrass music, all the food you can eat, carnival rides. Saturday night, we have more rodeos. Sunday, we're gonna have something new this year. It's called the Buckaroo Rodeo. Y'all come to Mule Day this year, September 22nd through September 25th.
So tell me a little bit, now this mule's kind of sort of famous, Minnie Pearl.
Yeah, she's been around.
Mr. Crystal Jean Thompson. So she does Long Ears Liberty and drill team and stuff. Why do you have her?
Well, she called me up one day and I said, Crystal, I don't know, we'll try it. I said, because mules is a lot different, and she brought her up here, she wanted me to teach her to bow so she could do something for her dad's performance that's, going to be with the Lord. And so we went on, she brought her, and we went through a little process, and we got her to what she wanted to do. She wanted her just to bow down like she's praying. And we kept working with her and got a little headset on her and stuff like that, But the main thing is repetition, just over and over, consistently, not getting too excited, not blowing their minds, but just keeping on showing them what you want.
Right. And so I want you to talk a little bit about what you've done with her and how a mule's a little different than a horse, and I'm just going to turn it over to you, and
okay.
you go through your routine and, do your ground stuff, and then we'll look at your rider and we'll talk some more.
Well, a mule is, and I've probably heard this, a mule you're going to ask them. So I had to more, when I come and start training this mule, I had to more ask her. A horse I ask, but then you can kind of get after them a little bit, put them in a circle or something. But a mule, if you blow up at them, they're going to blow up at you. And 9 times out they're going to win, so I had to ask her. And this mule really took off. She trusted me. After a couple days of working with her, she just fell into place. We got along. I've had mules in the past that weren't that simple. You had to do a little more time. A horse is a dumb animal. A mule is smart. He's like, now you can't put me on that ground. If you're not supposed to put me there, you're not going to put me there if it ain't safe. This mule really took off. She really trusted me. She was easy to work with. She let me work with her. She let me teach her. At a normal little tight schedule, nothing crazy, smart mule. But the mules in the past have some good ones and some bad ones. So, and I took her at first, and I had to pick her leg up. And Crystal said, well, that's okay. I said, no, I don't need it where you can look up while you're doing it. So we just kept messing with her, and we could just touch her and tell her to get down. Down, good girl. Good girl.
That's so awesome.
And repetition, I've done it one day, and I would do it a couple times a day. But you couldn't do it too much, but you had to do it enough or she would get, well, this is what he wants. And then, then we both got along good. When I come out here, and like I can now, and I can just say, get down, girl, get down, Minnie Pearl. And she falls right down, other than me had to fight on her a little bit. And she didn't give me no wrestle. She done what I asked. So the main thing is to get in and get out. Is the best thing with breaking horses or mules. If you want to make him put his head down, you get in his mouth. When he gives you that head, you got to get out. Because if you hold, he don't know what you're asking. Because you hold him when it's up, you hold him when it's down. So eventually he's going to go to fighting you. So it's repetition, getting a mule to trust you. And with a horse, it's going to be more of you can get after him a little bit, put him in his place, but repetition and getting in and getting out. Anything you do is get in and get out. Because I can put him in this round pen and I can steady jack on his face. Eventually he's going to say, heck with you, and stick his whole head up in the air, and he's going to quit. He ain't going to work for me. So you got to take and give. You do a little bit of time, let him be a horse. So, and I normally start in here, get him where I can handle him. I take him on the outside, let him be a horse. Then I come back and do my training. That way we don't blow their minds.
Okay.
So
show us a little bit about how you worked with Minnie Pearl. And,
so I took her, well, she's about to lay down. When I had her, like I said, you hold her leg up, but if she wouldn't listen, I would just kind of get after her. Just kind of move in a circle, make her move her feet. If a horse or a mule is doing something you don't like, you want to make them move their feet. Left or right, side to side, but backing up. They're lazy. Most of them, they don't want to do all this. So if she done something I didn't quite like, I might would lunge her or something, but I would make her move her feet, and then I would try it again. And eventually she got, well, if I don't do what he's asking me to do, then he's going to make me work. So then one day I come right here, and I sat down, and that's what I got. And then I just kept rewarding her and kept doing it, and she got better and better. So.
Can you make her do that when you're riding her?
So we didn't get that far. So this mule was here for, well, Crystal took her home. She just wanted you doing the ground for a thing for her dad, but I told Crystal when she come, I said, we're going to start with 30 days. Now I said, I don't know how far this is going to get. I said, we might even get her with some ropes and stuff on at 30 days. I said, we'll try it. Well, in about a week, 3 days, I called Crystal. I said, she's bowing. And she was excited. So, and I, like I said, but I had to do more with a little more work that we didn't want to go out in public and do it. We do it on command in public. And I said, well, leave her here. So she was going to leave her 30 days. I worked with her on the headset. And about 2 weeks, she was really flopping down. Well, I was going to go on vacation, and she come and got her in 3 weeks. And Crystal sent me pictures almost every day. She done her homework. I tell a lot of my customers, if you leave a horse here 30 to 60 to 90 days to 120, a horse that's 2 years old, a mule, you got to go home and do your homework. Because if you pay me for 90 days and you go home and put him in the pasture, well, of course, if a deer jumps out in front of him, he's going to run away because you just decided to ride him a year after training, you know. So people just got to go home and do their homework to get them really what I start if they don't leave them long enough to finish it. But Crystal took her home and she kept working with her. She done what a lot of people need to do is do their homework.
What else can she do?
Well, that's what she wanted, so I can put the bit in her mouth and ride her around and show you a little headset and stuff like that.
Because I know that she's amazing and can do a lot of stuff.
Yeah, she's a good mule. She is a really good mule. They come a dime more a dozen, these mules like this.
Well, you know, in history, they weren't really designed as the camera.
So when I get on, I'm going to turn around. A lot of people have trouble when they get on their horse. The first thing they do is walk off when they're halfway on the saddle. Well, when I get on mine, I might back them, but most of the time I flex them. Keep them soft. I'm going to hold her, she stops. I'm going to hold. I ain't putting no leg on her. So so a lot of people, when they get on, when they're halfway on, the horse is walking off. Well, we teach them to do that. When we first get on them, and they do, as soon as your boy hits the saddle, walk off. So I have to make mine sit here for a minute. I might flex them. If she moves, I'm going to hold her until she gives to me. She gave it to me. I'm going to bump it and make her put her head down. And let her sit here for a minute so that way I'm not chasing her or the next one to get on. And then I walk them off, let them be a horse or a mule. You can blow their mind. I can get on her. If I get on this horse or mule and start jabbing on her, start training on her, eventually she's going to hate to walk to that door. Because she said, as soon as I walk to the door, he's going to go right to work on me. So before I get off of them, when I first get on them, I let them kind of be, unless they want to act a little up, then I'll go ahead and, but they're pretty decent, I just let them stretch out, let them take a minute to get themselves together. Then I'll start training on them. And doing little odds and ends, Because most of the time they sit in the stall for the next day, work them tomorrow, put them in the stall, tie them out, feed them, put them in the stall. And you feed them good, fat and healthy, they got that energy on them, Whoa. I stuck my feet forward, she backed up. Whoa. She knew as soon as my feet went forward and she heard my voice, whoa, she knew to stop. And now she's backing up. A little bit of pressure. My feet's forwards. A lot of people want to get rough with their hands. If you have to get rough with your legs. And get easy with your hands. You want to stay easy with your hands. Because if I start being rough with her, with my hands, her head's going to go up in the air, she's going to reject me. So I want to hold it like I'm holding a dozen of eggs. I use a little bit of leg to get her old head where I want it. I'm going to ask, there's that get in and get out. See how I got in and I got out? So what I did is so watch right here. She give. So if her head's up, I'm going to ask for her. If she put it down, I'm going to give it back. So she knows eventually she'll get, if I keep my head down there, then he'll never touch me. But if I pick it up, he's going to get after me. We got her leg pressure. Put your leg on her. She'll turn like an old quarter horse. Whoa. Side pass.
Very fancy.
This is a nice mule. Now most mules in 30 days, and Crystal had her doing good at some of this stuff, and I kind of touched it up. Most mules in 30 days, you don't get this. You get started, but you don't get almost a finished product. So she's got her head, so I'm gonna get in and get out. She's kind of fighting me a little bit now. I'm gonna hold, she put it down, I'm gonna get out. She picks it back up. Whoa. And I could work her till she starts sweating up. If she does good, that's my reward. I don't really do a lot of treats. So my treat is if you do good, I'll put you up early. If you do bad, we'll work along until we get it. Until we get what I think we should accomplish that day. I don't want to blow their mind, but I can't put them up on a bad note. I always got to stop on a good note. So we're going to jog her this way. We're going to ask, we're going to bump, bump. She put her old noggin down. Whoa. I would love to get her where I can take her and ride her off my legs. And so I can just take my leg. You see it right there? I'm having to use a little bit of leg. I mean a little bit of hand. But I can just take her off and guide her with my legs. And that's leg pressure. So if something breaks out on the trail, if something happens, I can, whoa. No lines, she stops. So when I teach a horse, whoa, I teach them 3 things. Whoa with my lines, whoa with my mouth, and whoa with my feet. And so at first I put them all together. Whoa. And eventually I might be jogging around and I might say, whoa. And then I might do my feet. It just depends on whatever, you know. And maybe we can pull the bridle off one of these days and be loping around and say, whoa, when she jams up brakes. But a lot of people want to teach a horse to go. They got to know whoa first. I'm going to take her and take my outside leg and make her circle get shorter. I'm just taking my leg and I'm bumping her. And I ain't going to come in on you. I'm just putting that leg there. I ain't kicking, I'm just putting pressure there. And she's getting out the pressure. Same way right here. She got out the pressure. And that's the way I train, to get out the pressure. If they feel it, get off. And the same thing with back, and she knows to get off that bit. Whoa.
Now, when you train horses, do you have people come out and let you train them?
Yes, ma'am. What I do, I tell people, is when your horse is here, it's free. When I say I feel like I got your horse good enough, I can try to teach you, then I tell them to come out. Let me see. You get on, and you know, because a lot of the new techniques is a lot different than the older technique than what you said a while ago. Country broke. A horse with a hand on it, it moves off my legs. You know, if I put my spur in her right there, she's going to get off the pressure. And just to make sure the people can ride a horse with handle, and I try to help them, you know, while the horse is here. Sometimes I go out if they don't come or something just don't work out. But I try to get everybody to come here. I try to see a good fit go home. And if I say, look, it ain't the horse, it's kind of you. So you maybe need to come more this week before your horse goes home, and let's get to the bottom of it. So when we go home, everybody's happy, and you know, everybody's happy-go-lucky, and they're riding or whether they bring it from showing or for trail riding, they enjoying their horse.
Well, you know, there's so much of a difference. I always compare old horses that I've had in the past, like this one's a log truck and this is a Mercedes.
That's right.
You know, and when the Mercedes, like you say, I could put a little more pressure on my right foot and she would turn right. But with the log truck, it was like, oh,
you got to pull it on.
Turn right. So people have to understand.
They do
figure out how to ride that horse.
In an older horse, if you had a horse that's been in the pasture, he's kind of set in his ways, and we can break him, but he's not going to be as easy to get along with as a 2-year-old. Now, a 2-year-old might be a little jumpy, but he ain't set his ways. You know, we can get them, but most time it take a little more time to get them. They kind of just like older people. They kind of, you know, they made their mind up about something that's made up.
Well, they're pretty slick too, because I started taking riding lessons not long ago because I hadn't ridden in a long time. I've been too busy doing this business. And so my lesson horse is Piney, and she's probably 20, close to it, but she's a sleek old girl. And she rides along and she says, "Where is your hole?" There it is. I'm
That's
not going
right.
to do that. You know, so you got to get smart.
Oh yeah, and I don't care how broke they are.
Yeah, and it's not that she ain't broke, it's that I do.
That's right, and they gonna, and most 90% of the horses, you got them few that you can just put a beginner on and they just follow along. But you got them some that's so smart and broke, they gonna try them.
Yeah.
See, can they not leave the barn, or can they walk sideways? And I tell the kids that come here for lessons, you gotta hold the pressure there. You gotta show them you're the boss. And if you ain't hurt them when you kick them, you gotta show them, hey, I'm in control. You're toting me. And that's what a lot of people mess up. Well, I'm gonna hurt them if I kick them.
Yeah. Well, you know, one of the trainers that I interviewed a long time ago, she said to me, "Rose, when you step in the round pen, you guys are a herd of 2. One of you will be the alpha, and one of you won't. So
That's
don't
right.
go in the gate if it ain't you."
That's right. You got to be the boss. You ain't got to mistreat them and beat on them and
That's right.
abuse them, but you got to say, hey, I'm the owner of this flock. We got to do what I ask to do, and we'll work together till we get there. And not they'll hurt you. They'll weigh a lot more than we do.
Yeah. And you know, if you don't believe that that's true, let a trainer get on your horse, and all of a sudden that thing knows everything. And
That's
does
right.
his step. And when you get on him, he don't know nothing because he understands, you know, how to make you not be able to make him work. So like you say, you're so smart about this. I'm really impressed with your skills.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
And a mule's not an easy thing.
They're not. Mules look different.
Yeah.
I've had a few, but I've had hundreds more horses than I have mules. So we do them both, but horses are our favorite. But a good mule and a bad mule, we'll mess with them. But if I just see that's not gonna it's not gonna work, it's not gonna work. I'd rather be honest with people than take their money.
Well, you know, mules are not for everybody.
That's right.
I mean, I honestly believe in this business, I've been doing it a long time, that there's mule people and there's horse people, and they're different.
That's right.
Nothing wrong with either one. You know, they're just different. They're things they want.
You know, as an example, if you get to a ditch or a creek on a young horse or a young mule, well, that horse might don't want to go. But in a few minutes, you know, he might jump it the first time. We got to go back and learn him how to walk across it like he's supposed to. But eventually, you can put enough pressure there, he's going to go.
Yeah.
And this mule might say, I ain't going. And until you figure out how to change his mind, he's not going. It don't matter how much pressure you put there, he'll sit right, he'll lock up. I've seen them lock up and they say, I ain't going. And they ain't going until you just figure out some way to change their mind and make them go.
I interviewed a man that did mule packing in the Sierra Nevada mountains. And he would tell me that, you know, many times that trail, you are right on the cliff.
Yeah.
But you didn't ever have to be afraid because
That mule
wasn't going to fall off. You might, but you're stupid, but the mule was not going, so if you held on, you'd be safe. But that's really amazing. And Minnie Pearl is a very special, beautiful girl.
She's a good mule. She's got plenty of brains. I guess the horse side come out on her.
Yeah.
So the donkey
right
side.
genes.
So she got the right genes. And all of them can be stubborn. I got the nicest horse on the farm, my personal horse. But of course she don't get rode, so she can be a little stubborn if I could get her out right now. She's been setting. But in a few minutes, we can be clicking like we used to click when I used to ride her. Because they know it's there, sometimes you just got to bring it out of them. So.
Okay, so now we're going to take a look at Elijah's Friesian stallion. Now this is a young horse?
Yes, ma'am. He's 6 years old, but he won't start as a 2-year-old. I think they started driving him some as a 2-year-old, with ground driving him, and they turned him out just to cover the herd.
Right.
So he's been out doing this, living the dream.
So he's got some babies
He's
on
got
the
some
ground,
babies on the ground.
And I tell you folks, they are magnificent. And he's for sale?
He's going to be for sale. We're going to ride him. We're going to really put him to the test and get some nice videos of him and really take him to a horse that's been there, done that. But he's going to be for sale.
Right. He is absolutely fabulous.
He's gentle. He's a nice horse.
Yes, you are. You are such a sweet boy. I should have never done that. Okay, I'm going to let you show off your stallion.
So I got about 6 days of riding on him. We got some groundwork on him, but about 6 days of riding on him. And he never offered nothing. He stepped right off the first day, and he didn't know a whole lot about the bit, but he didn't ever offer nothing crazy. Just a little D-ring. Well, just a little D. You know, I start them slow. If I have to go to a bit like with a port or a shank, I will, but if I can ride him with a hay string in his mouth, I'd rather ride him with a hay string in his mouth. And I just want to teach you know how you try to walk off? I just want to make him see he ain't quite got the flexing yet. I'm going to bump him a little bit.
He may be a little scared of the camera too because it looks like it might be.
But I just want to let him sit here and relax. Tell him everything ain't about go. I'm going to ask him to back up. And he's a little, like I said, this is about a 6th or 7th ride. And we rode him on the outside and stuff like that. I actually took him to a friend of mine's little celebrating the life on the 3rd ride and put him out there with the mares, and we never had nothing happen. So he's a nice horse. The ones with the good minds are easy to train. The ones with the bad mind, you have to work a little bit harder. So I just put a little bit of leg on him. I want to train him the same way we had the Mule. So I'm putting a little pressure there to get off that leg. If you feel it, you need to get off of it. The same way. So this is part of some of my training methods. I teach them to get off that pressure. So that way I ain't got a mule dry. I want him to have power steering. And I ain't want to have when I got to fight him to get him to go. If I put that line there in that leg, he knows to get off of it.
He's a mighty good looking boy.
Thank you, ma'am. He's real level-headed horse, real easy going. Which a lot of times when you draft size horses, they're gonna be a little more easier going than your quarter horse. And most of them are easy going, but they can have a little more junk in the trunk sometimes than a bigger horse will.
Well, a draft horse is cold-blooded, so that makes sense.
So this horse was as big as this horse is. If he wanted to come out of here, he could come out of there, and I couldn't stop him. And I'm just gonna, and every time I stop, I want to back up. If it's a 2-year-old or a 10-year-old, and I'm gonna hold him right there until he gives me what I want. It ain't the best, but like I say, we're about 6-7 days of riding.
I think it's pretty good to have that little bit on him.
And I can't quit. Now a lot of people will get mad and quit. I'm gonna hold the pressure until he gets off of it. I'm using my legs a little bit. Shh, 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 shh. And if you don't, I'm gonna put him in a circle because he done what I didn't want him to do. I'm gonna make him move his feet. I'm gonna come back. If I get one step, I'm done. Shh. Well. So I ain't gonna let him have his way. Before we quit, he's gotta back up. That's the thing of training. If you give me good, I'll quit. You give me junk, we'll keep on. We won't get mad and get upset, but we gotta take that step back. And there it is. So I got one step. If I'd have fed him right back, I'd have quit, because that's new to him. I've been backing him some, but we gotta teach him, when you first get on a young horse, never been rode, most times they don't walk off. They don't know how to walk off, because they're used to you being down there walking them off, not on his back. So we got to teach them forward, then we start teaching them back, how to turn, and different things like that. J Ranch on Facebook, or you can type in Elijah Jacobs or Natalie Jacobs and reaches, whichever one.
And so you do kids camps, lessons, training, breeding, sales. If you're looking for a horse in any direction, this is a good place to start. And I'm blown away, and I think you will be too.
Yeah, we do a little bit of it all. If people call us a consignment, we do buy some, and I try to buy a few young horses out the year and ride them up really good and sell really nice quality and sell good stuff. So that way people come back, feel more way to tell their friend. And we do a lot of training, and we do the kids camps and lessons. And yeah, you can do about everything here if you're dealing with a horse.
All right, very nice. Well, as always, I appreciate you watching, and stay tuned for next week's episode.